Anyone here got a question for Magnus?
Well, I've got a question for Magnus. What's the situation with the World Championship? So, well, you see, you're rated #1 in the world, so it's appropriate that you should play in the World Championship. So, if it's a round-robin candidates tournament, would you, you've expressed an interest?
Yeah. Well, it depends on the other conditions as well, but
of course.
But my intention is to participate as long as the conditions are good.
Well, when you say conditions are good, I mean right for you. So which conditions, basically, without giving away your...
No, I mean, stuff like contracts and...
I mean, does it depend on the venue, for example?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Of course, but again, I really don't want to go into that.
I think he doesn't want to go into it.
Yeah, no, I'm getting that impression. Basically, it'll all work itself out in time. Is this what you're...
No, it's just that, I mean, the only times that I think about the World Championship is when people ask me about it. So otherwise, I just don't think about it at all. And for me, it's so much more interesting to focus on the tournaments that I'm playing right now. Like, I mean, for me right now, the London Chess Classic is much more interesting than the World Championship because it's it's happening right now, and well, I just don't think about it at all.
Okay, so your king's in check. Where are you going to move it then?
Well, we're talking
about the king on F2.
Yeah.
That king, yeah. Okay.
Well, I'm thinking King G1 just looks the safest, and I don't know what the idea is. Maybe knight d2, rook e1. And now I'm thinking if takes, rook d5, then we have this fork, I think. So that doesn't work.
It's definitely a fork.
Yeah, the problems are for black is that these two knights, they are loose, but well, they can easily fork the rooks.
So in fact, if the rook goes to a5, you could go knight c6 and fork that way. Very tricky.
So I don't really know what
Kramnik's idea is. So white seems to have a lot of pieces and pieces for a rook. 2 pieces for a rook.
Yeah.
And nothing special.
And I'm sure that Kramnik has some idea, but I don't know what it is. Knight d2 is played. Okay. And I'm thinking he'll play rook e1. Maybe there's some point to go rook c1 instead, but rook e1 looks the most logical. One trick I was thinking of was rook d5 actually. And now the idea is this.
Rook a1.
Rook a1. And still, this doesn't look very nice for black either. Maybe this is okay actually. And
trying to get rid of all of white's pawns.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what he's...
Maybe rook d5 is the idea.
But did he...
Yeah, and so it might actually make sense to put the rook on c1 instead to avoid these tricks. So that if, let's say, rook d5, then knight c7, and the rook will not be attacked.
What, rook c8?
Now? No, then you walk into knight e6. Maybe a rook c8 immediately here. But still, maybe knight c3 here. I don't see a clear draw for black here, which I think is definitely what you should be aiming for.
But if we go back to the position after move 30, knight takes e5,
yeah.
I'm just wondering, because we didn't have a chance to look at this position, was this, well, absolutely, it's not necessary
it
to
take
take
that awful for black.
It doesn't, it's not necessary to take on e4, so I'm just...
Actually, in these positions, well, I think it's clear that black is probably going to lose the pawn on e5, because knight c4 is coming. But this bishop on b7 is really bad, so we should try and exchange it somehow. That's why I was thinking, I don't know, maybe something like king f8 here. Or maybe that allows b6, but the idea is just to try and do something like this, get rid of this bishop. And
okay, knight c7.
Knight c7, then we can go bishop c4.
Oh, and I can't play.
Yeah.
Okay.
You cannot do that.
Yeah.
But maybe he was afraid of b6 here. And then, well, the pawn lives, and it's very complicated. But probably black is risking just as much as white is, even though it's an exchange up.
Okay.
I'm really curious as to what.
Yeah, it seems very odd, doesn't it?
I think this is probably the best move. So. Ah, that didn't work.
You're trying to sabotage our little act here.
No, I'm doing Control Alt and then this, but that usually promotes this variation. But apparently here,
yeah, if you just right click,
yeah, that's
just promotes. Did something completely different.
Okay, so rook c1 played.
He played rook c1.
Yeah.
Again, someone says, ich glaube, Kramnik hat sich verrechnet. That might seem right, actually.
Yeah, vielleicht. Okay, but what would the question is, if we go back to the position before 30, bishop takes e4.
What he would do instead, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, here I guess this fails to knight c7, so he cannot get rid of the bishop immediately. And well, maybe he just found it hard to find a move. I guess this might be the idea. Doesn't that work? Okay, whatever. Bishop c4 might be the next move for white, and then the f7 pawn is falling. And
okay, so what if can we play knight d7 just to
knight
try and
d7,
chop some
looks
pieces?
sensible. That looks sensible. Maybe knight c4 now. But then maybe
bishop a6.
Now we go bishop a6. Knight d6 maybe.
But somehow this doesn't look
this
a disaster for black.
Terrible for black. No, I think maybe something like this. I mean, I don't think black should lose this.
So just in general, we've got exchange for 2 pawns, but you think probably should still be a draw?
Yeah, I think so, because this passed pawn is not really going anywhere. The black rooks are reasonably active, and well, this bishop is better than it was a few moves ago, but it's still not very good. So.
Okay, I wonder if it's possible for us to get your opinions on one of the other games, if we can.
Sure. Okay, you do this. I don't know how to do this.
Okay. I shall bring us back to Luke McShane's game, if that's okay. Right, so I don't know if you were following this game.
Yeah, we were discussing it a little bit in the VIP room. There's, we were actually quite impressed with bishop f1.
Seems to me bishop f1 is an extraordinary move to play for a win, actually. I mean, this...
Yeah, but this bishop might be short of squares and you want to push c4. And you also have this nice trick that if black goes rook a8 to stop it, we just go c4 immediately, and now black is getting mated on the back rank.